the leader, have you removed the ideology? There are more crazy Nnamdi Kanu that will...
You know what happened? The day they killed Tafawa Balewa, they removed his turban, they poured wine on his head, forced him to drink, and shot him. And while he was being killed, he said, none of your tribe will ever rule Nigeria. It's not a new thing I'm saying. And I said I want to break the curse today because these IGBOS were not part of those people. You cannot overgeneralize.
And they would have to put it in law now. Anybody who is father and mother is not from Lagos, you should not be given a ticket. You should do it that way. The father and the mother must be Yoruba. Even his Benin now must be born in Lagos. And you must bring your birth certificate to show. And it's to go to the chief of that village or the area or the town to find out. And then they should go to his school before any ticket. That's what the Spirit said as we test and we'll do this time around.
Of Nigeria is not gun and bullet. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. You can't fight an ideology with gun and bullet. Let me explain this. Sit down before we pray. I'm worried. Some people want to fight an ideology. How do you fight an ideology? An ideology is like a spirit. You can't fight an ideology. You can't use gun and bullet to stop an ideology. The way to deal with an ideology, you engage it with wisdom. The only bullet that can kill an ideology is the bullet of knowledge. Wisdom. Wisdom. The only way to deal with the ideology is to go back to the founder of the ideology and reprogram the ideology and stand at the central processing unit of the ideology and make sure it is rightfully corrected. If you remove the leader, have you removed the ideology? There are more crazy Nnamdi Kanu that will come up after Nnamdi. They are just hiding under him. The only way to kill this is not by gun and bullet. It's by engaging with proper dialogue, with knowledge and wisdom. This cry we are hearing here is not a cry of children, it's a cry of adults. The only way, I am not an advocate that Nigeria should separate, God forbid. No. But I'm saying the best way to handle this, listen to the cry of the children. Sit down. Everything is not gun and bullet. When you take the leader away, okay, take the leader away. The next, how many people are on the street? Do you know how many spirit of Biafra have entered people? Do you know how many? Do you know how many millions are carrying the spirit of Biafra around? So if you kill the leader or you take the leader away, can you take the spirit from everybody? Ojukwu is not here, but Biafra is alive. It's an ideology. The man who started it has left. Before he left, he kept quiet and lived peacefully and left. But the generation that have come have picked it up. And it's even worse than his own now. And they are engaging it with knowledge. So the best way to deal with this is not gun and bullet. It's not gun and bullet. When the revolution want to start, the revolutionists, the first thing they will do, they will pass the idea and impregnate their followers. The only way to stop it is to stop them before they impregnate the followers. But if the followers are impregnated, that's all. All of them are carrying pregnancy. They will soon deliver to other children. If you have 2 million Biafra, you already have 4 million Biafra. Because they are selling the ideology. And now, I don't have a problem. But my own concern is that you don't take woman's life. The best way to do that, you engage them in the ideology. If you feel the ideology is not correct, you dialogue. You sit down with them. If dignifying them will make them feel important, then do that. We can't be killing people and we are getting excited. No. Boko Haram is a terrorist group. Have you stopped them from killing? Are they not still killing? They're still killing. Did it start as a peaceful group? Yes. Were the ideology crazy? Yes. How do you engage it? Engage the leaders. And you see, some of these things are very spiritual. They are very spiritual. See, something that can die within 15 days, it can stay there for 15 years because the way leaders are handling it. The issue of Biafra is so simple. You are agitating? Is this what you want? Then comfort. Okay, let's do a referendum. Let's see how popular this your thing is. Or restructure Nigeria. That's all. Sit down with these boys. Make them feel important. How did the unrest in Niger Delta died? Yaradua did dialogue. That's the best way. This thing, everything gone. Bullet, everything, fight. Aggression, it will take us nowhere. The world is too civilized. Look at America. Look at the way they abuse Trump and they say everything. The guy with those bands and tweet again. He tweets and continue his life. That is what we call civilization. That is what we call. You can abuse me to hell. Say whatever you want to say. It doesn't stop it. I am the president and I am the commander in charge of wherever you are. You abuse, but I'm still your president. These things are just simple maturity. To fill a political office is not maturity. It's an appointment. I'm worried. I started talking about Biafra before this happened. And I was saying, let's kill this thing. Dialogue. Dialogue. Even we as fathers, our children will just do some things and we see it very stupid. But we have to give them audience. I just hear them and let them talk. And when they talk, what do? We judge and advise them. Sitting down at the table and talking, even to take us to discuss for 1 month, for life not to be lost, is what important than losing lives. If we have to engage Nnamdi Kanu and all the Biafra discussing, young man, what do you want? Let's do night vigil in discussing than losing millions of souls. Discussion, dialogue will never kill anybody. But bullets will kill.
You know what happened? The day they killed Tafawa Balewa, they removed his turban, they poured wine on his head, forced him to drink, and shot him. And while he was being killed, he said, none of your tribe will ever rule Nigeria. It's not a new thing I'm saying. And I said, I want to break the curse today because these IGBOS were not part of those people. You cannot overgeneralize. And I went into the Bible, I showed them Genesis 49. Reuben! You are my firstborn. You will not excel. You went to my couch. You defiled my couch. You're unstable as water. But God raised Moses. Said, let Reuben live and not die. And let his men not be few. I said, on the authority of God's word, I reverse the curse of Tafawa Balewa over the Igbo generation. You will have access to the throne like any other person. Do you understand this? If you don't rise above tribal and religious, gosh, God help me. If you don't rise above it, you can't fix a nation. You can't repair the breach. You can't restore the past to dwell in.
And they would have to put it in law now. Anybody who is father and mother is not from Lagos, you should not be given a ticket. You should do it that way. The father and the mother must be Yoruba. Even his Benino must be born in Lagos. And you must bring your birth certificate to show. And it's to go to the chief of that village or the area or the town to find out. And then they should go to his school before any ticket. That's what the Spirit said as we test and we'll look this time out. So that come out to Keromero. So that's the problem. Although after winning the one of the Igbos, we are still having trouble with the Fulanis. Because they have the the head of Fulani has a palace in Lagos. Who's supposed not to be? You know the Benin people never allow. We'll come back to that later. We have to tell Tinubu to tell them to remove this out of Lagos. And this is the stupid thing they did in
So, beloved, I believe we all heard what the man of God has to say, and honestly, the truth is, after listening to what they have to say, I also went to make one or two research, and I realized that see, this problem didn't start from today. And one thing I want to advise us or say we should do is that see, let's not inherit problem for ourselves. Let's not inherit hatred and pass it down from one generation to another. So you heard what Prophet Joshua Iginla has to say, and the other man of God, what he has to say concerning Tafa Bariwa, and then what he says that they should pray so that the sins of the father does not affect the son. It's a whole lot, honestly, and I'm asking, is Nigeria fair to the Igbo man? Or is the Igbo man actually fair to Nigeria? That is an honest question, please. If you have an honest answer, please drop it at the comment section below. I'm not here to bash any ethnic group, and I'm not here to say that Nigeria is good. See, me, Nigeria is, see, they have stressed the life out of me. I'm hungry because of Nigerian. Why? Because there are bad political leaders that are leading. And there's one thing I want all of us to understand, it's that it's not by this, by that that we achieve a lot of things. Sometimes we need to come together to actually sit and talk and air out our opinions. Sometimes you see that two people are very angry at each other. When they sit them down to ask them what the issue is, sometimes when you hear them talk about the issues, you'll be like, are these people children? How can you be having issue over this particular thing? How did it happen? How did it get here? But sometimes I ask myself, when I heard Prophet Joshua Iginla said that the Igbos and Nigeria should sit down and dialogue, I'm asking, dialoguing, will it actually solve this tension? Will it actually make things go away? Things that have happened over almost 60 something years, I be 60 something years, 60 years right now, will it just disappear? And one thing I want all of us to understand is that everybody has collected woto. Be it Igbo, you have collected. Be it Hausa, you have collected. Be it Yoruba, you have collected. Be it any ethnic group, you have collected one way or the other. You have become a victim. I used to remember back then, in the village, and there was a man that, you can go under the tree and sit, and then you hear tales, you hear people tell you stories, and there was one of these elderly man like that. He was telling us the story. I think we were saying something. By then it was we and some Igbo guys and lady, because they normally come to my place to trade, and they live there, they have stores and all those things over there. So we're talking, we're gisting one day, then I think the issue of the civil war came up, and then he was actually gisting us. And he said back then he was actually in Kaduna, and he wanted to join the army because his name had Chi. They say he was an Igbo man, they will not give him. The name was, like in my dialect, it's called Ochopunu. So because of that Chi that is there, they say he's an Igbo man, he cannot join the army. And that was the time he said the civil war had happened. Like, it was not quite long. Then he wanted to join the army, and that incident happened. Sometimes your name, you can deprive you a lot of things when you don't even have hand in anything. And sometimes you can be carrying the sins of your forefathers without even knowing anything. Sometimes generation hatred are being passed to children unknowingly. Like Joshua Iginla actually says that the Nigerian government should actually come together to dialogue, to talk with these people, to ask them what their problem is, what do they really want. But clearly you can see that the Igbos actually want out because of the way they are being mistreated in Nigeria in some states. You understand? But some states welcome them actually, while others don't. So you see, and one thing you need to know is that it does not matter whether you are Igbo or you are Yoruba. If somebody hates your gods, they hate your gods. That is just it. So it's like they have become the scapegoats in Nigeria, and then to say that, oh, we cannot keep quiet and actually watch people mistreat us the way they are mistreating us. So they decide to take matters into their own hands, and they are doing things that are actually complicating issue more. And the way the federal government is trying to actually handle it also, it wasn't. It's like pouring kerosene or fuel in a burning fire. What do you think is going to happen? It will escalate. I'm not here to actually tell you about any political anything because I don't really know anything. It's based on one or two research that I'm making and my honest opinion after hearing the men of God actually speak. And I also advise that we should actually forget about a lot of things and pray and move on, because we don't have any other country. Whether you like it or not, you still own a Nigerian passport right now. Biafra is not coming. Like, yes, they will say that when you talk about Biafra, the IGBOS will tell you Biafra is here to stay, but it's not working yet. So why don't you make do with what you have at the moment and be able to actually accomplish your needs and wants? At the end of the day, then you strive for higher position. That is how life is done, step by step, and at the end of the day you see that you are in your final destination. There are a lot of things that they could do differently, but I felt like the way people are pushing them, that is why they retaliate the way they actually do all the time. So you cannot slap somebody and tell the person to turn the other cheeks for you to slap. In this they are not Jesus Christ, and they are not assistant Jesus Christ. Even assistant Jesus Christ will not allow you to slap him then turn the other one. For what now? So all these things we need to also sit and actually analyze a whole lot of things and also do away with this bad blood. Okay, like Joshua Iginla actually says about the Niger Delta and Yaradua. Yes, they were able to dialogue and they were able to come into a simple agreement because these people too have been there. Like he said, for years, when Obasanjo was in power, how he raised that place to sow dust. So you're not able, even I believe I was too little, but growing up, I read about things, I watched documentary concerning those people, I hear things also. So I have little knowledge and how things went down there. But when Yaradua came in power, he says that, violence cannot actually solve problem. The best thing to do is to sit and ask them what they want. If you see how people's lives are being destroyed over there, if you watch documentary, because of oil, their rivers are being polluted, their farmland has been polluted, is barren, it cannot yield fruit. When you plant something, it doesn't germinate, it doesn't grow to a particular level that particular thing can produce seed. When they plant cassava, it doesn't germinate. They plant maize, if it grows to a particular point, it stopped because the land is barren. It's filled with oil. Do you think lands with oil can actually produce anything? You put seed down, it will not germinate. So that should tell you the level of how they have destroyed their land. And these people say, okay, we are not benefiting. You have killed our land. We are not getting resources to actually seek for aid from outside, get food from other part of the country to our side, and then you expect us to keep quiet. And that is how you have those pilots and all those things. When they kidnap, they take. So a lot is happening. So I will not say that it's one particular side that is actually collecting woto from Nigeria. Okay, look at my place. We are suffering from Fulani herdsmen. Is the federal government doing anything about it? No. Rather, Tinubu want to sign livestock waiting minister, that somebody should be there to represent them. They are doing things to please themselves in that particular cycle. So if you don't have anybody in that circle that can actually defend your people or speak for you, you are gone. These things have been happening for the past 8 to 10 years, and they are not doing anything about it. During farming season, Fulani will come, kill people the way they want. And I'm telling you, there are not people in my community, in my local government, some places like that again because of Fulani herdsmen. They have to run. And my people make money from farming. So how do you expect people to actually live, to be able to survive what is coming next year? Sometimes I wonder, how are people going to actually conquer or skate through next year? because the country is getting tougher. It's not yet over until it is over. But you're going to find a way to actually overcome all these crises, because if you don't, it's you that it will affect at the end of the day. So I'm not here to say that I know better or I can say better. It's just my own opinion. So please, if you feel like my opinion it's not worth said, you can also let me know your opinion at the comment section. Because honestly, hearing what they have to do, I feel like it's high time everybody sits. Nnamdi Kanu has been locked up there for years and he needs to be released. Even when the High Court said that he should be set free, the federal government said no, they are still keeping him. His hearing is about almost a month and some few days from now, which is in September 20 something, I think 24th, 25th September. So we pray he's being released again that time. Do you think this thing is going to stop his people? No. Like Joshua Iginla says, see, Biafra is pregnant with a lot of baby, and some could give birth to triplets, quadruplets, fourplets, anything you want to say. That is how it grows. If these people say they want out, give them out. If you feel like you cannot let them go, then sit with them. Let them have their people up there that can represent them, that can feel their needs and wants and demands. So you cannot let another person speak for another person. Somebody that does not understand your language, how is that person going to understand your tradition? Speaking English will not actually tell things in details, but when you actually say it with your language, it tells it all. You don't need to even explain over how many stretches of words before that person gets the memo. So they don't have anybody representing them up there. And our politicians are so stupid that, in a way, that they are just there to loot, send families abroad, to base there, to have citizenship over there. That is all they know. Be it Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, any language, they want to send their kids abroad. And then the common man is left to suffer in the country. That is just my own take. Please, if you have better opinion, let me know at the comment section below. Also, throw light. What do you think people need to do different for we to achieve a common goal or a common ground in Nigeria? What will favor everybody at the end of the day? So let me know at the comment section below. And also, please, if you're coming across my channel for the very first time, do it to subscribe, comment, like, share with family and friends. And also don't forget to turn on the post notification bell to get notified whenever I drop a new video. You'll be notified. And if you're a returning subscriber, I want to say a very big thank you. Thank you for always tuning in, and thank you for always watching my video. God bless you as you do that, and I'll see you in the next one shortly. Bye for now.